Is Bitcoin about to take a backseat to altcoins as Fantom and some other alts are looking to rally? We're going to go over that. Also, we have some altcoin news from Solana, from Fantom, a big Illuvium partnership. So if you're into gaming, this is something that you're going to want to keep an eye on. We're also talking about some positive Bitcoin metrics, and we got Magic Internet Money joining us for some TA. We have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's get into it. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, and, well, stale information and repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. We lost 71.5. We lost 70,000. Bitcoin is back down, under 70K, and on the way to 50,000? Is that a thing? 50,000. No. We're definitely not going to. No, where's wrong? Well, I guess it could be a lot worse, right? You could be one of these guys saying, oh, we're going down to 10K. We're not going to 10. We're not going to 50. Well, we might go to like high 50s, but definitely not low 50s. Well, we have a few things we want to share with you. One is, of course, we give you an update on these ETF numbers every single day. Bitcoin ETF flow, this is compliments of Far Side. So, pretty freaking miserable day for inflows yesterday. BlackRock only saw $21 million in inflows. Fidelity, only $6 million. $40 million from, I believe this is Bitwise, correct. ARK saw $9 million. And then another big uptick. So Robin was wrong. So what is the opposite of Robstradamus? It is not Stradamus. He said the selling's over. You lied. You're a liar. We went from, it was nice, right?
That's
81, 75, 79, and then bam, 200, and then bam, 300 yesterday.
wow.
For a
You
net.
sound like Emerald, the
Net.
chef.
Bam.
He's seasoning
Bam.
up your jokes, and
Wow.
those are bland and very salty as well.
Oh my God.
There you go.
So 223 million in net outflows. Robin, do you wish to apologize to everyone watching and correct yourself? This is your chance.
I'm good.
Wow. Okay, seriously though, what are your thoughts on that?
What
What bankruptcy is it now?
So from the ETF going live to where we're at now, about 50% of Bitcoin has been sold from Grayscale, right? I saw that yesterday. Did you pull that up?
So $15.8 billion has been sold from Grayscale over the since the ETF went live.
Right.
That is insane.
I'm trying to find it here, but I do have some numbers on these ETFs so here I have, take a look. We have Grayscale. So they sold $303 million just yesterday alone, which is about 4,300 Bitcoin. But something that's pretty interesting here is that they have sold about 48% of their BTC since this is since it went live. So you can see here Grayscale, 48%, man. So,
Guys, we're halfway there.
so basically
Total zero.
yeah, no. And all joking aside, if you think about it this way, you can only sell so much before they're out of stock, right? And so, half of it is essentially been sold. How many of these holders are going to hold through for the simple fact that they don't really care about the hits for capital gains, because they're just looking at it on the long term time horizon. They're like, you know what? I'll just pay the 1.5% Grayscale charges, and from that point forward, I'll cash out later. And so yeah, I don't know.
Don't cash out later.
No?
Now is not the time to
Hold
cash
for life.
Yeah. I do want to share this. So just to put things into perspective, you guys. Fun fact.
BlackRock and Fidelity spot ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs, have now taken in inflows for 59 straight days and are in the top 20 ETFs of all time. Not one, but two of them. Two of our Bitcoin ETFs. And guys, soon we'll be in the top 10 if we clear this 72-day hurdle. So, which is only 13 days away. Look how good my math is. Wow. Then we have this piece of news. Robin, 1 billion yen, which is $6 million. A Japanese company, publicly traded company, MetaPlanet.
You hyped up 1 billion.
I know.
And it's
1 trillion rupees. Okay, 6.5 million US dollars, well, 1 billion yen. So Japanese firm MetaPlanet is adopting the Michael Saylor strategy of BTC. And look at that, the company share jumped 90% following the announcement. We alluded to this in conversation as far as, hey, in my video I made last Friday about Michael Saylor and what they're doing with Bitcoin, I talked about them setting the precedence to be able to show other companies, hey, look, this is what we did. This is the playbook. These are the benefits. These are the drawbacks. It's going on since 2020. So this has been a 4-year theory. And people are watching and they're saying, hey, you know, we want our stock price to go up 800% in 3 months. Do you foresee more of this? And I know this is kind of, 6.5 million. I mean, it's a lot of money, but relative to, what the numbers we usually bring up and talk about, it's kind of a drop in the bucket, but that's not the point here. The point is, here you have a publicly traded company that is doing what MicroStrategy does. Is it too long before we see a top 500 company in the US do this? And instead of it being 6.5 million, it's 6.5 billion? What do you think, Rob?
very interesting. We saw this before with the bank that went under, or no, excuse me. We saw this once before where a company said they're going to buy Bitcoin.
The CEO resigned?
Yeah, and then the CEO resigned, where we saw the price of it shoot up. But why are the markets reacting in such a way? I mean, if you think about it, here you have the MicroStrategy stock I pulled up, and you can see that if you go back on a 5-year window, and so when they first started acquiring Bitcoin, that was back here when they were around $200, and so you've seen an increase of around $700 or by a factor of 7. So they've 7x since they entered into their Bitcoin position. And you can say, hey, if we saw returns like this for a publicly traded company, in the same way, would we see the same returns at a factor of 7x when it comes to the next publicly traded company? I think so, man. I think that, the markets are anticipating growth similar to what we saw in MicroStrategy when it comes to the next company as well. So
here's the thing we got to remember too, Robin, is we got to remember that the publicly traded companies are trying to keep one group happy, and that is their investors, their shareholders. So if shareholders of other companies, right, are saying, oh my God, MicroStrategy went up 800% in 6 months. Oh my God, this company, Microplanet, whatever it was, they're up 90%.
Microplanet?
Oh, I forgot the name. They're up 80%. They're going to look around and say, you know what? At the next board hearing, let's talk about maybe putting some Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And then, it's like a snowball effect. Very interesting. All right, we are about to bring Magic Internet Money on the show, but before we bring Magic Internet Money, I would like to say a big thank you to today's channel sponsor, which is Legacy Network. Legacy Network is looking to help you level up your personal development and make it fun, exciting, and give you a way to earn money. Their app is dropping soon. Make sure to join their Telegram to get all the updates and be one of the first to download the app when it goes live. A little info here. I'm hearing it should go live very shortly. I got to leave it at that. And I got a chance to play in it a little bit. It's pretty sick. the UI, UX. I'm big on how it looks, the practicality of it. It looks amazing. We're excited to showcase that once it goes live. And with that being said, every Tuesday we have our friend Magic Internet Money joining us. And well, today is Tuesday, and here's Magic Internet Money. Magic, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, man?
Hey.
Oh man, a little sick, but I'm doing all right.
Sorry to hear that. Thanks for still joining us. We appreciate you. Magic, before we jump into the charts, I have this video I want to share with you. This is from when Bitcoin's price was at $5,000. And we're going to watch this video together, and then we're going to jump into a Bitcoin chart. So here we go. This is Tom Lee on CNBC discussing how people should be buying Bitcoin, and then just watch the reaction of the host here, okay?
If you actually think it's undervalued by that extent?
Well, we think the best approach for most people is just to put 1% or 2%.
Are you saying that? I get that if you're somebody who's got a lot of assets. I still think it's crazy. But for a retail investor, somebody who's saving for retirement and putting that aside, that seems crazy to me.
Well, it's basically the idea that you can afford to lose 1% if that's 1% of your portfolio.
That's crazy. You might as well throw it away on high fees to an investor, to an average. Like this, you're taking a flyer on that. You don't know where it's going to go or what's going to happen.
Well, in a way, that's right, Becky. That for the majority of people, it's 1% is like a small risk bet. But Bitcoin makes all of its gains in 10 days in a year. I think this is an example that if you exclude the 10 best days, Bitcoin loses 25% a year. So you got to essentially hold it or hodl it, as they say, to really capture the gains.
If you actually think it's undervalued by that extent?
Any thoughts on that? I mean, look, this is when Bitcoin was at $5,000. We're now at, let's just call it an even 70. It's a 35x. And so this dude is over here telling people, hey, 1%. And she's like, no, just pay that in fees to it.
35x? Your math is horrendous.
So 14x.
Yeah, my bad.
Still, that's still pretty good. That's
Magic,
pretty good.
I don't mind being corrected by you. Thank you for that, Magic. I appreciate it. Keeping me in check. What are you guys' thoughts, Magic? What are your thoughts on that? And like, how far have we come? What are the conversations you're having with associates, friends, family, and versus how they were, back when Bitcoin was at 5K or 15K or 20K, from more of like an anecdotal standpoint?
So yeah, I mean, I actually, even when I talk to people in real life about Bitcoin, I do tell them that you don't need to be a trader. In fact, I don't trade all of my portfolio ever. That's a bad idea. I am a long-term investor in Bitcoin because I don't see any other path for it other than upside right now. The chart is good. So allocating a percentage of money to it is smart. I do tell people if they're, going to a work every day and they have like a 401k match, absolutely max that out. But you can now go into your 401k and Roth IRAs and actually expose it to Bitcoin even. Yeah. So you can do things like that. And I think it's smart. It would be, I think it's actually riskier to not diversify at least a little bit into emerging markets. And the 1% rule he just indicated is a great way to do it, because you got to think, if that 1 to 3% risk outperforms the rest of your portfolio, there really isn't a need to ever be all in on something. That's actually a pretty dangerous way to live. But if you're, mitigating risk, why wouldn't you? The upside is far greater than the downside in this case. Lose 3% versus missing out on, as you said, a 35x, or call it a 14x in this case.
Hey, the 35x identifies as a 14x, okay?
I got one guy who still texts me, and he goes, every time I go to Dunkin' Donuts, my rule is whatever I spend at Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, I buy Bitcoin on Cash App. And I said,
I like
really?
that.
Yeah. And so he does that. So he does it like once a week now, because he goes to Dunkin' way too much, I think. But he does that, and he sends me, portfolio updates. And I'll tell you guys this: I try to like get people involved. Like I recently had a friend who had a baby shower, post baby, obviously, and it was just some old coworkers from like 2018 that I was working with back then. And instead of getting them diapers or anything like that, I actually gave them a lump of Bitcoin and put it in an account for her, and gave them the keys and just said, "Hey, this is for your daughter." And they thought it was really cool. And that was when Bitcoin was at like $30,000.
Magic.
So,
actually, we're actually going to have a baby shower too. I just got to get my wife pregnant. But yeah, I'll definitely invite you to the baby shower. We can always use more Bitcoin, babe. Look, yeah. I for my side, like as far as an anecdotal story, my brother's wedding, I was the best man. And I said, hey, how would you feel? Because I'm Armenian. So our tradition is, we bring money. And honestly, in Armenian culture, weddings are money makers, right? So in his wedding, I think they spent, and I hope he's watching, I think they spent like 25 to 28K, but they got 35K back in gifts. And so I asked him, I said, would you like me to give you your gift in cash, or would you like, or can I give it to you in Bitcoin? And Bitcoin was around 18,000. He's like, no, I want cash. That same money would have been 35x what it is now. So it would have been a lot of money. All right. Magic. We got Bitcoin at $68,860. That damn 72K mark, man. Shit, it's just like, cannot leap over that. What, is it typically bad when we have, just like knocking at the door of a certain price and keep getting rejected? Should we expect another spill off, or are you seeing something different on the charts, Magic?
I'm still trading this as a range, like we talked about last week a little bit. We'd indicated that we were expecting a pullback here, that this was a pretty important area on the chart. And, you're coming into that pre-halving lull a little bit where you've got your big run up, except this one just went to the all-time highs rather than the gold pocket. How you would really kind of start to look at this, though, is, is it bad that we're knocking at the door and not getting above it? It really comes down to your local market structure here. Meaning that as long as this is all intact, then yeah, sure, we can knock as many times we want. Eventually, we'll probably get through. But if we start breaking structure to the downside, then you start in context going, okay, I'm looking for a larger pullback due to that. And if you're an active trader, it's a really easy area to kind of map out and navigate. I would suggest always zooming out a little bit. And we just had a new quarter. And so that's kind of why I'm zooming out. As you're marking your highs and lows, you could mark it as the monthly open and or the quarterly open. Quarterly open gets a little more weight for me because it's a bigger time frame, of course. And then you'd have like your weekly open, right? And so these have been the two key levels for me to really watch off of this move up. Because if we're living above the quarterly open, aka the monthly open, it does look good for potentially a push. Sorry if I'm echoing. I'm trying to figure out how to get that down. I can kind of hear myself back on my screen. So apologies back home. But if you're above this quarterly open, you're looking for a new high, essentially. So we do need to reclaim that. Now, inside of this range, going to the 2-week chart is actually going to be useful, as I do utilize this for both averages and for just levels. You can see you've got a nice one here. It's also paired up very, very well with your weekly pivot and your bi-weekly pivot that I affectionately call the caveman level, because it's just something that I had to calculate by hand. And I always told people it's so easy a caveman could do it. And so this is really where you're bouncing from right here. So you've got horizontal levels of support at this bi-weekly level. And then if you were just to go ahead and pull in your Fibonacci retracement, it's also your local gold pocket, high to low. And you really do want to utilize this low for this local gold pocket. Main reason being is this just really isn't one structure. You've got a confirmed low here, and now a new confirmed high, a confirmed higher low, and then what looks like trying to confirm a new high here inside of this, consolidation. So you would want to be pulling, in my opinion, from here. So you've got quite a bit of support here that you could really map off and just say that, down in this region, just from a horizontal and just from an averages, like your pivots, right? These monthly pivots are here as well. And you can see that's even your monthly pivot. So you have a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly pivot. All the averages of price of those sessions are coming in this region alongside your gold pocket and alongside the last time you settled up on a 2-week basis. So if we lose this area of the chart, I'm going to start looking towards 61.2. Now, we do have a pit stop level. We spoke about it last week. This was the level we gave as the support at 64.540. Got our one move down below it on the swing fail after the show. And I took that long. Got out around the prior all-time high at 69K, but still have some of it open. So if we lose this level, I'll probably get stopped out of that position, and I'm going to start looking for this quarterly average down here at 61.2. Locally, though, it's a pretty simple way to look at it. There's really not too much to do here other than even if you wanted to pull your overall range point of control. And we said the 60-day time frame is important just because, it's a time frame that I like. It's a 2-month time frame. Gets us a little bit of a higher time frame view, and it also gets our market structure range here very well. This is also our point of control of the range, and you can see that you did deviate the highs. Oops. So in that case, we would be looking for this box still. So I'm looking for a little bit of a stab lower potentially into this zone gold pocket, that $67,000 area. And I would like to trade that region. If lost, looking down to 64.5, but I think that might be a pit stop before coming to this quarterly average here, which isn't the end of the world. So I think the most important thing to do is kind of keep an eye on this region, that point of control of the range, the gold pocket, your most recent averages from price. If lost, we can start looking for discounts. And, you know, if this area is lost as well, then I realistically would start looking down to like this old monthly average at 55.8. But that's a conversation we can have after this area is resolved. But holding this area would be quite bullish, and it would actually be in line with the idea I shared with you guys a few weeks ago, where we said, you know, this is shaping up to be very, very similar to 2020. And I'm going to get rid of a lot of stuff on the chart so it's not as dirty. There we go. We had a fractal, and I say fractals should be heavily scrutinized because by and large they're baloney. But this is very similar. You can see this is the price action we've had since then. And it gave us two really good trades so far. It's given us the exact same pattern from 2020, which was a bat pattern back to the highs of the range. You got your short into a long, and now you're looking for us to take the highs potentially towards the middle to end of this week was the timing on that. So if we're able to hold on to the region I'm looking at, this is still kind of in play loosely of that trade idea. And then it comes back into the range and continues to consolidate on higher lows. And that would be pretty bullish. So when you say knocking at the door but not breaking, it's all about context, right? If we're holding this market structure, then sure, things are fine. There's really no reason to be upset about it. But the moment we start breaking below and breaking these structures, then it's like, you know, I'm not upset about it, but at the same time, I have to start maybe looking at this a little bit differently. And maybe it starts to look more like distribution, and maybe there will be a bigger discount period, which I'm not opposed to. I would like to buy more Bitcoin for less money. So, yeah,
Amen to
that's
that.
all I got. So,
Magic, can you real quick take a look at Fantom?
Yeah.
Fantom is one of the few in the top 50 that are in the green. We actually, our video today is on Fantom, so you're going to want to watch that after the live show. But Fantom, a lot of developments there. They got a big upgrade coming. Andre Cronje seemed to kind of come back around and is starting to post more on X, and they're doing his whole meme coin fund. I'm seeing they're up 7%. What is the Fantom chart looking like? Could we see a move back up to like that $1.15 to $1.22 range?
Potentially. We did talk about this one, I think. We were trading this one based on like the weekly and monthly time frame before, and we said that you could see a move down, I believe. And you essentially came down into what we had identified here at 80.4 cents. So that's the line from the last time we spoke about it. So I was saying this looks like a shortable area. I think you were in like an intraday long, though. You weren't looking to hold it too long. So yeah, this is very, very easily could be a nice region of the chart. Let's see what March ended up looking like at the end, just because we always want to check what our time-based ranges look like, just because that's how the world operates based on time, unfortunately, for some people, if they're late all the time, that is. Yeah, so you filled out the March range. I mean, you could see very easily a move back up to that $1.15 range. I think it's all dependent on what Bitcoin's going to do here, but you are going to come into resistance just at your local gold pocket. I would always have this on my chart, especially when you start to notice things like this. And this is doing very little homework here. You've got a nice set of highs here. So you've got two local highs into a pretty big drop off. So I imagine quite a few shorts were entering the market here. With stop losses here. So the idea would be to come up and potentially take these highs into the gold pocket and get a sweep. And if you get that sweep, you may come back down into consolidation and root around a little bit here. Let's see, what's April looking like thus far? Yeah, which, you know, not the end of the world. You'd just be consolidating. But yeah, it's definitely on the move. I would say there's still another push to like that $5, $6 region. Anything above that, if you can basically clear this little zone, I would say that you stand a good chance to try to make a new high even. And I still look at this area on the chart as resistance. I think we had deemed that this was kind of the range we wanted to get back in. And if you can get back above this, that's kind of the start. You know, you still need to get above that like $15, $17 region. And if so, you don't really have resistance on the chart until like 162 at that point. So you know, I would just kind of play this one locally. I think it's going to consolidate underneath here. You very well could see something similar to what Bitcoin's doing, puts in like a large structure, like a triangle, or maybe just consolidates underneath here a little bit. But realistically, above these highs, you don't really have any resistance until the $12.71 mark. Yeah, so you could see that push. Yes,
amazing.
You'd be better off on a long right now than a short because you haven't entered this zone yet. So.
Yeah, so when Fantom dipped to under 90 cents, I entered into a long position on FTM. So I did pull some margin off the table, took a little bit of partial profit taking.
Yeah.
But I think I was looking at $1.12. I was also maybe potentially looking at $1.22. Fantom is one of those coins. When it runs, it really, really runs. And then you have a bunch of catalysts. They're getting their USDCE bridged over, so that's going to be their native stable coin. And the new meme coin fund. We know what happened. We know what meme coins have done to the likes of Solana, the likes of Avalanche, the likes of obviously Ethereum back in 2021. Because something similar happened to Fantom. I think it can. Magic, we appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you so much. Where can people find you if they want more MIM?
Yeah, Twitter's always a good place. I'm not as active. I go through phases of like wanting to shit post a lot and like be really interactive, and phases of just I'm in the group. But it's just like today, if you guys are in the Discord, I go live 3 or 4 times a week for a few hours at a time to build charts and teach people how to trade, go over past trades, things like that. So that's probably the best place to find me. I'm there almost 12 hours a day, it feels like, because it's a group of friends that I've been teaching to trade since like 2020, plus new members, obviously. So just a good time.
That's amazing, man. And we did drop the Discord link, Magic's Discord link. It's actually on your screen if you're watching. Also, it's in the comment section. Make sure you go join Magic's Discord. This man just puts on master classes of technical analysis. So always learn something new when you're on the show, man. We appreciate you, Magic. Thank you so much, brother. And I hope you feel better, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Take care, brother. All right.
On some interesting news, and I know we briefly discussed this morning, but we did have Vitalik Butter Chicken. This 17-year-old turned 500 into 450,000 in 6 hours by picking up Vitalik Butter Chicken.
Can you do it in the accent?
No, I'm not. And then also, we did a big shout out to Cecilia Bragantini. So she's going viral and making it, she's going viral, and it's all has to do with the springboard diving finals that she qualified for.
Dude, the finals in 2023 were crazy.
She made the 2024 finals, obviously going viral. So congrats to Cecilia there.
Congratulations, Cecilia.
Big shout out to her. You know, she's been working at that for a while. So there you go.
She's working her butt off, man.
Yeah, she's working her butt off. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah.
I do want to. I do want to share. Well, first of all, I want to give a big thank you. We had a super chat from. Let me find out who it was from.
Yeah,
Great Cats. Sin City Crypto holding strong above 70K. Would be great if Bitcoin did the same. Congrats, guys. Well deserved. Thank you, Great Cats. I know you've been with us for a while. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of you.
Also, a big shout out to Alu Nature Rampage. Also, we got Frosty Divine, and once again, a big shout out to Crick Cats with that super chat, and Northwest Crypto RM. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If you're new here, say hello. We'd love to drop an hola back at you. And also, let's get the, where's my sign at? I found it. Let's get that like button thing going, bro. Hit the like button.
No, I do want to briefly touch on the rest of the cryptocurrency markets. So here we have BTC trying to push up against 69K yet again. ETH had a nice rally yesterday, lost all of it back. So it's back to $3,500. XRP, wow, it's above 60 cents. I'm a little surprised, I'm not going to lie. So congrats to all you XRP holders. Doge, 18.9 cents. Toncoin, we got some Toncoin news we're going to share. Flipped Cardano. Flipped ADA. So ADA's at 60.1 cents and Toncoin's at $6.60. But it's not what you think. We'll go over that in a little bit. And also want to give an update on our ICP trade. I entered into another long position on ICP as this bull flag remains intact. So this $16.30 level on ICP has proven to be a pretty good level of support as it is touching the lower bound of our flag portion of this pattern here. And when this thing breaks, we're looking at $24 to $26. So we've had a long position around $17.20. Got into another one at $16.30. So we're going into this thing with some conviction here. Of course, this could be invalidated and the price could spill off, but our liquidation point is under some key levels, which include this fair value gap between, it's a pretty big one, between $15.35 and $17. So a pretty big gap. As we saw the price blow through that, this was back on Monday, March 25th. Prices has reacted pretty positively to that level, but right below that, in that area, we have our equilibrium zone, right below $15, $14.95 to be exact. Just a strong chart for ICP. I believe it is oversold on the hourly, right? We know our friend Dan from the Chart Guys will be joining us tomorrow. Talks about first hourly oversold conditions. Well, here you have it. And guess what? ICP on the 1 hour is hitting that discount zone here from the Lux Algo Price Action Concepts Indicator. So bullish on ICP as far as the chart and the patterns go. So looking to make a lot of money on that trade.
You know, I found a way to fix Solana. Some of the devs have come out with a resolution. And so something that I don't know if they've tried yet, maybe implement time-tested method here. We do have the Solana issue where you remove Solana, unplug it, and then blow into the blockchain. And then restart it. There you go.
Just such valuable content.
I know. So
now I do want to share a lot of regulatory stuff. So here is Senator Cynthia Lummis. So there was a meeting about Bitcoin and digital assets, and well, some things came out of it. This is one of them. Listen to what she has to say. This is Marathon CEO, I believe, at the 2024 Bitcoin Policy Summit.
So the state of play on Capitol Hill is, I think, best explained by what I see as the overarching motivations. And in this administration, there are a number of high-ranking policy positions that are held by people who are threatened by Bitcoin because they know they can't control it. They know it's decentralized. They know its potential. And these are people that are so wedded to the government being in control of the money, how it's spent, how it's used, that they find it threatening that something exists that they can't control. And so with that policy overarching motivation, we're seeing things like a proposed 30% tax on Bitcoin mining. We're seeing things like that truly odd regulatory overreach by the EIA, Energy Information Administration over at Energy, to send out questionnaires about mining consumption of energy that was just egregious. And so these are the policy headwinds that the Bitcoin.
So some other policy headwinds I want to share with you. One, this is tweeted from Eleanor Tourette. Senator Warren, wow. She's focused on validator nodes not being subject to the same AML laws as banks. Long pause for a reason. She asked Wally Adeyemo if she sent him 1,000 in crypto. Is it possible that Iran is the validator of that transaction? And Adeyemo said, yes, it is possible. And she responded, quote, so Iran, which is subject to all kinds of sanctions, are making millions of dollars validating transactions, all because we don't have the tools to stop them, to which Adeyemo said yes.
why are you reading it like that?
She also, because this is so infuriating, I'm trying to keep my composure here. She also asked if there's a correlation between the growth of crypto and the amount of money Iran is pocketing.
Oh,
He said yes.
there it is.
She said there needs to be a regulatory framework in place.
Iran has made all of its GDP from crypto, right? All of its
Validating
gains.
nodes.
Yes, yeah, there it is. Wow. We are in the wrong business. Let's just validate transactions and maybe we'll grow.
Wow.
in the same way that Iran has.
You know, I feel like it might be, it's okay to copy a cat as long as it's the right cat you're copying. So, hey, United States, we are in we're in like a $35 trillion in debt, or at 120% debt to GDP ratio. Maybe we should start validating some networks, make some money, pay off those student loan forgivenesses.
But we got to make sure we do it in a correct manner, where we KYC ourselves and we follow anti-money laundering laws as well.
Yeah, this comes from the government that has no idea where $2 trillion went from defense spending. Okay, we also have this. Although I do not like this Twitter handle, I do want to share this from them. U.S. Treasury Secretary issues official statement to the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee claiming Russia is using Tether's USDT stablecoin to bypass economic sanctions. Here we go again. The difference is, these types of stories and issues and people worried about this and that, these have been circulating for the last 4 to 5 years. But the difference
I can see this being I feel like this is
but here's the
probably
thing.
truth to it.
Tether has been pretty compliant with what governments have been wanting them to do. Not saying I agree with that. Saying the U.S. government says, hey, freeze this wallet, they've done it. Blacklist this wallet, they've done it. Trace where the funds are going, they've done it. Also, you don't want to mess with Tether as they are the 23rd largest holder of U.S. debt. So don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Really?
Yeah. Like, we're talking about, like, countries. So if they were a country, they'd be the 23rd largest country that holds U.S. debt. That's a lot.
It's going to be very interesting to see this election. What is going to transpire when these crypto companies come in and back the presidential candidates? And not even just presidential, also congressional candidates, right? And I mean, if Tether is 23rd on U.S. debt or holding U.S. debt, then how much money do you think they have to throw at politics, right? Because
so I was going to share this, I think yesterday or last week. They made more revenue in Q1 than the top 5 banks in the U.S. combined.
You think the banks are also looking at Tether and saying like, hey,
Of course they are.
we want a piece of that action?
Hey, PayPal launched their stablecoin. Ripple launched the stablecoin. There's a lot of money to be made there.
But
a lot of money.
The interesting thing where I'm going at with this, what I think about is the fact that if Tether's making this amount of money, the banks, of course, are looking at crypto as an issue, a problem, right? They're losing money people are taking money out of savings accounts. They're sending money internationally in different rails or different channels. And perhaps the revenue that banks receive from wire transfers and also the money just sitting in a savings account, not earning any yield, those are flying away from banks and going to crypto. And so I think that the banks, at face value, they're saying, hey, we don't want crypto. We don't want it here. But at the same time, you got to look at other crypto companies and say, wow, they're servicing financial products for Russia. Obviously, maybe there's truth to this, maybe there's not. But in some form or fashion, governments or nation states are using crypto, money that could be profited by the traditional banking system. On top of that, you got the likes of Tether making billions of dollars and holding tons of U.S. debt, as you mentioned, and the banks are going to want a piece of it. And so are they going to alleviate that pressure that they put on politicians like Miss Elizabeth Warren and say, hey, you know what, let's get some favorable regulation for crypto because, hey, we're not even allowed to buy stables, right? They're not allowed to buy and sell stables. I know we discussed it a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about banks being able to custody crypto. That's something they're not even allowed to do right now. And so are they going to be able to service clients for crypto in the same way that we've seen with the ETFs? Because right now it seems like the banks are the ones getting the short end of the stick. And I think that they've been the ones that have excluded themselves because they've tried to curtail crypto adoption.
Robin, you've surely heard of the phrase money talks. Well, guess what? What talks louder than money is losing money. And the banks are losing money. As you mentioned, as more and more people start to use blockchain to send money overseas and across borders, those wire fees, those bank fees, they're going to start shrinking. And guess what? These executives are going to notice because, well, anyone's going to notice a large chunk of their revenue start to diminish. And at that point, who knows what we're going to see? Will we see pushback from them against the government? Potentially, yes. You know, we've talked a lot about making money. Well, what about saving money? One way to save money is to pay the least amount you can possibly do legally in taxes, which is why we partnered with Decrypted.tax. They are a sponsor of our channel and, of course, of today's show. We had Ernest on yesterday. And so you want to make sure you keep more of the money you make in the crypto bull market. And the way you do that is find a really good tax professional who understands our space, understands how to get you the most money back or pay the least amount in taxes. Use the link in the description to set up a free consultation or potentially see if you can file an extension as the deadline is on Monday. So big thank you to Decrypted.tax. Again, link in the description. Now, the title of today's live show is Bitcoin going to take a backseat to altcoins? Got a lot of altcoin news I want to share with you. We're going to talk about Near Protocol, going to talk about ICP, going to talk about Ethereum, and a big partnership for Illuvium. Might get a little exciting here. So first, let's talk about Near. This is from the House of Chimera. New all-time high for Near Protocol in daily active users. The Near ecosystem has grown significantly in terms of users, and more dApps flock to the ecosystem. I think part of the reason here is that Near is extremely developer friendly, meaning that the most common programming language used in the world, which is JavaScript, you can use that same programming language to launch dApps and create and write smart contract code on Near Protocol. So very unique there. Also, their ecosystem is great. It's kind of a mix of like Solana. It's got a little bit of kind of like Cardano vibes to it. The Near Protocol. I mean, so here we go. Hot games are attracting millions of daily users, including dApps like Sweat Economy. You can see here from the chart here, looks pretty good. So we've been bullish on Near for quite a while, even sub $1. We've been talking about Near Protocol. Also, breaking news from Solana. One of the largest stablecoin issuers, Circle, announces to launch support for Web3 services on Solana. Stop launching stuff on there. The network's already congested. Jesus.
Well, it's surprising that it's on Solana because I know Charles Hoskinson has been very vocal on the fact that they've had difficulties getting the prominent stablecoins to offer their services on the Cardano blockchain, but we see them launching on Solana. And then speaking of Cardano and speaking of altcoins, well, it has officially happened. The flippening Toncoin is now within the top 10, and it is flipped Cardano.
I literally said that at the beginning.
I know you did, but I wanted
it's not breaking news
to highlight it once again.
Wow.
What do you find it so funny, man? It's funny.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about ICP here. So, good morning, ICP. Having recently finished our final milestone, we have created a short video to illustrate the tech front row we'll be using to bring decentralized dynamic ticketing to the internet computer. So this is pretty cool. Let's watch this video.
Have you ever tried to buy tickets for your favorite event, only to be greeted by unreasonably high prices and unreliable websites?
Yes.
From scalpers hoarding tickets and inflating prices, to counterfeit tickets ruining your big day, the traditional ticketing system is broken. But what if there was a solution? Introducing Front Row, a revolutionary platform transforming event ticketing through the power of blockchain technology. Take John, a blockchain enthusiast interested in attending an ICP hub event in London. With Front Row, John easily purchases a ticket in the form of a dynamic NFT. Front Row utilizes the dynamic nature of the NFT tickets to cater to John's needs throughout his experience. At the first stage, the NFT will be an event poster displaying all the key information for the event. An hour before the event, the NFT will generate an encrypted access QR code, granting John access. Finally, after the event, the ticket will turn into a collectible event memorabilia. Unfortunately, John's brother, who was hoping to join him at the event, fell sick. Thankfully, Front Row's secure marketplace allows him to sell his ticket to Maria, who missed the initial sale and now has the opportunity to securely purchase a transparently priced ticket. Front Row is hosted on the Internet Computer blockchain, which operates on low fees through its reverse gas model and guarantees a high transaction processing rate, making the website operational even with high demand. Front Row isn't just a ticketing platform. It's a movement towards a fairer, more enjoyable event experience for fans, artists, and organizers. Ready to take your event experience to the next level?
So, we always talk about use case for blockchain, right? I think this is a slam dunk, home run, easy one, right? Transfer of ownership and all the fees that you pay on Ticketmaster. I just bought tickets to a soccer game for July, and I paid like $350 in fees. I remember Robin went to the Stanley Cup last year?
Yes.
You had bought tickets. I had gotten free tickets. So you went to sell your tickets, and the price that you bought them, the difference in price was like what, $400 or $500 a ticket? So when you went to sell it, the tickets were $500 more, but after all the fees, you ended up breaking even, correct?
Yeah, I sold it. I made, technically, I had purchased the tickets, X amount of price. I don't remember exactly what it was. I ended up selling them, and I was supposed to make $400, but all of that got absorbed in fees.
Wow.
And so it's just very interesting. I did want to say here that I think the fees are roughly around like 5%, something
Ridiculous.
And it's on both sides too, which is surprising because you think that one side would just absorb the cost, like say, hey, you're going to sell the ticket, we're going to charge you a fee. No, it's on both sides. So you pay a fee, the seller pays a fee and takes a cut, and then also the buyer does this as well. And it's astounding. And then at these percentages, I mean, take a look here. You got the Taylor Swift concert where tickets are going for over $2,000 here.
Are we going?
I think so. Yeah. Do you want to sell some Solana?
No.
No. Okay.
We could be able to anyways.
Then also here, if you want lower bowl seats, not even floor, but just the lower bowl, you can get them for $4,400. So if you are in Miami and you got an extra, not $4,400, but an extra $6,000 after the StubHub fee. So instead of it being $4,400, you got to come out of pocket about $6,000. No, about $6,000. So
that's ridiculous.
You got to come out about $6,000-7,000 for the tickets after StubHub takes its fee. This doesn't really make much sense. And then on top of that, there is a delay of about 2 weeks to get paid when you sell your tickets. And so you would think, hey, I sold my tickets. You have to wait till the person goes to the event because you have to, quote unquote, they have to make sure the tickets are real and transferred. And then once the tickets are real and transferred, they arrive at the event. Then they go through the process of paying you, which can take up to 2 weeks for you to receive your money.
That's BS.
Seems extremely inefficient. And the fact that they're taking this much damn money off of the top and it takes that long for you to receive your payment is asinine. And obviously, as competitors come in and offer a product that just fundamentally makes a lot more sense, companies like this and their business models are going to fall by the wayside. There's no point in going to Blockbuster and spending $12 for a movie, especially back in 1999 when, well, $12 was a pretty damn good salary for an hourly wage. And now we can stream movies for a couple dollars. Obviously, a lot more efficient. Cost has come down. Traditional business models where you're hitting people upside the head with a $10 fee for renting a movie. Obviously, business models break in that scenario. And I think that the ticketing system, that business model is going to break and it will be replaced by something a lot more efficient like blockchain. It just makes a ton of sense when it comes to tokenization of ticketing. So there you go.
Yeah. Great video, by the way. And shout out to that company. And interesting, they went on ICP. Not going to get into all the reasons I'm bullish on ICP, but very bullish on ICP.
I'm also bullish on SCC, Sin City Crypto. And if you are new here, say hello. I'd love to get an Ola train going. The chat seems to be falling asleep. I haven't seen much typing here. So, do us a favor. Put OLA, what was my, spelled this way. Put OLA in the chat, Ola. And we'd like to get that going. Also, we do have some new people here. We have ALSE. Also, we got Anna, Grateful Dead, Sella Chain, EXZ, and Crypto Stitz. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
What about that German name? Rita.
Yeah, well, you said it.
I'm going to say that one.
For sure.
An update on the Ethereum ETF. It's not good. Deadline fast approaching with only one-sided conversation from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Despite attempts to engage in dialogue, the SEC has reportedly offered little to no feedback essential for the finalization of Ethereum ETF products. Lack of communication has left issuers pessimistic as the May 23rd deadline looms. So, Robin, a little more than a month out. Jean-Marie Mornetti of CoinShares.
What's that?
That's how you pronounce it in French. Jose. Anyways. And Jan Van Eck.
Please never go to France.
Okay. And Jan Van... Actually, Paris Blockchain Week is this week.
Is it?
Yeah, George is there from Crypto.
You know, I last time I went to Paris, I went to visit my cousin. He said he absolutely hates Americans.
Thanks for that, Robin.
And then he proceeded to point out annoying Americans as we walked through the city.
Did he point to you?
No, he did not. He was like, "You see this?" And then there's like some girl,
some girls,
yeah.
These Americans, they're the worst. When Arnold Schwarzenegger there. Anyways, Jean-Marie and of CoinShares and Jan Van Eck of Van Eck are not optimistic about the May end deadline. Jan told CNBC that they and ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood expect a likely rejection by the SEC. Approval odds are low. You still hold your thesis, Robin, that, hey, because we have already a Bitcoin ETF product, there doesn't really need to be a lot of conversation about the ETH product. Are you still in that camp, or as the deadline approaches and we see more articles like this, are you kind of changing your...
I'm still very, very stubborn on dismissing
You are definitely stubborn, for sure.
Dismissing the ETF approval with BlackRock investing in so heavily in the tokenization of real-world assets, particularly the Ethereum blockchain, and the fact that they don't lose very often, or simply are told no. I think that most of the time BlackRock wants, BlackRock gets, and they want the ETF. The application is in, and over 500 times have they put the application in and been told yes, absolutely. ETF you want, ETF you get. And so I think this is going to be no different. I do think that what's going to happen is that the whispers, rumors, and the approval of the ETF will catch momentum shortly before the deadline approaches. I think right now the SEC is staying quiet. I do think that the framework for an ETF, a spot ETF for Ethereum, the framework is already there from Bitcoin. There's no need to go in and have all these meetings and say this is how you do it. I know you're going to say the staking. I don't care. Shut up. So the thing is that you already have the framework for the ETF per Bitcoin. The how it's done is already there, and so why go and have all the discussions on how it's operated? Sure, there is staking in some of the applications. I think that what you'll have is a couple weeks before the ETF goes live, that they'll sit down, that'll be amended, scratched, X'd, and what we have for Bitcoin spot ETF will be exactly what we have for the Ethereum one, and I think it gets passed at the midnight hour.
Wow, staking, that's all I got to say. Let's talk about Toncoin. A lot of people are like, hey, I don't know why it's pumping.
We've already talked about it.
We haven't, actually. So Toncoin hits all-time high, flipping Cardano out of top 10. Double breaking news. But I want to share with you this, Robin. Look at this. This is the rich list of Ton. Robin, the top 20 holders of Ton controls 70.4% of the supply. The top 10 holders, over 60%. And the top 100 holders, Robin, 93%. Let's take a look at what that looks like.
100 people control. 100 people control everything, huh?
Pretty much.
Good luck selling it, Toncoin. Good luck.
Let's take a look at Cardano and what their rich list looks like. Wow, look at the difference, Robin. The top 100 only hold 21%. Top 10 hold only 8.9%, and so on and so forth. So,
and then even in the Cardano situation, and you can say the same with Toncoin, but the top addresses or the top holders are usually exchanges, right?
These excludes exchanges, Robin.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yes.
I'll just shut up.
No, but you're absolutely right. Usually it does. But here, if you go to rich list, you can see here the different wallets, and usually they're labeled with Binance, not FTX, Binance or whatever it is. And so here you have a different tab here, exchange wallets. You can go take a look at the exchange wallets, MEXC, Poloniex, BitGet, Hopit, yada, yada, yada. So, Toncoin, do you have any advice to people who maybe are thinking about jumping on the Toncoin train with everything we know about, the distribution?
Trains are outdated. Take a plane, take a car, Uber.
Okay.
Yes, I would not recommend that train.
People are looking at Uber into Toncoin. What would you recommend?
It's not.
Is it too risky?
It doesn't. Okay, I look at it. It is a governance and a governance token that offers the transfer of value between users on its own platform. What I'm getting at is it doesn't have a real utility, right? It doesn't solve any major problems, and it's an in currency for the app that is Telegram or the website. And so outside of those parameters, if you remove Telegram's movement of its own token in its platform, what else does it do? And I know we've had Mind Your Business Studio, and he's pushed back on it. He said Toncoin's doing some things. So I'm not sitting here saying that there is zero development and there's absolutely nothing that it's used for. But to be in a top 10 project and to have bumped other chains out of the conversation for most value, I just don't see a token that launched within the last year that is predominantly used as a movement of value on its own chain that is held predominantly by a handful of people. 100 people almost is what is made up of the holders. 100 people. It's crazy to me, man. And even the 100, even that metric aside, even if I came in, I didn't know that was the breakdown of the wallets, but I did know that there's really no retail adoption. There's no use case, and I'm not surprised to see those numbers, put it that way. But in seeing those numbers just affirms what I already believed, that it's a token that is held by the whales, privy few, and it doesn't really do much for crypto and the ecosystem for the average person like me and you. And so for me, in the long term, I don't look at it as a viable play.
You want to take a guess at what BNB's is?
What is it? 82%. That's the top 100 holders.
Whoa, look at the top 10.
Wow, top 10, 75%.
And big majority of that is Binance.
So once again, a large centralized company controls the tokens. The one difference here, though, is that the BNB token is traded predominantly on the Binance exchange. And so for that reason, it's manipulated, right? Yeah, the price is manipulated. At least Toncoin is traded on other exchanges. And so the whales can just play their own games. But Binance essentially controls the price. And I'm sure that a lot of those whale wallets are, their own, right? And they might be disguised as, oh, well, we don't know. We don't control that wallet. But I think that they have control of a lot of wallets that they claim they don't.
Solana's been just Bad. Failed transaction after failed transaction. People are not able to get in and out of projects. I saw one tweet from someone said, "Hey, I made $50K off a trade. I needed to pay bills, or I used. I think he said he got the Solana from a loan, but he can't get it back because the freaking transactions are failing. Unacceptable. Potentially, though, a fix here. Timely vote credits proposal has been approved on the Solana mainnet. This feature will help alleviate congestion and speed up block confirmations by incentivizing quicker voting. Still way too long. Not good, man. Unacceptable. It makes me think twice about having a lot of money.
We aren't even in the thick of the bull market. Retail has not even come in realistically, at least not in the way that we saw the run up of volume and transactions like we did last bull market. We're still expecting that to come. I mean, don't you agree, David, that the average individual that doesn't have exposure to crypto or the novice investor that kind of YOLOs into projects when the market gets frothy and that FOMO is completely kicked in, don't you think that we haven't reached that point yet in the bull market cycle?
No, we haven't.
And you agree that it's still coming, right?
Correct.
And how is Solana supposed to operate if at this moment where we both agree the markets they're not as much volume as they will be here very shortly. And if we're in this situation right now, how the hell are they supposed to stay up operational and ramp up transactions and throughputs in a few short months, right? I mean, I think that we're going to see this next kick to the bull market. I think we get the $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year, maybe $150,000. We know that with the rise of Bitcoin price, it raises all tides, and well, we'll expect to see some massive gains in the altcoins and in their transactions. How the hell is Solana supposed to stay up?
Robin, imagine running a business, right? Leveraging Solana. It's to me, it's not okay. It's a problem. They got to fix it. And one more thing I want to talk about is this big partnership with Illuvium. So Illuvium has partnered with Samsung, Rocco's favorite company. This partnership combines Samsung's unparalleled technology with the breathtaking universe of Illuvium. It promises to introduce Illuvium's community to a new dimension of engagement and immersion. The fusion of these universes promises to enhance your Illuvium experience, bringing the virtual and the real into closer harmony. Illuvium, Robin, let's take a look at the price here. Illuvium ran to over $1,700. A lot of people touted it as the first AAA blockchain game. Where'd you go? Here we go. So currently sitting at $126, ranked number 170 on the coin market cap list. You look at the all-time high, again, $1,727 all-time high. What are your thoughts on this partnership real quick? And yeah.
I don't know much outside of kind of the headline here, but I will say that Illuvium is getting a lot of attention, and the game itself looks pretty good. It is a battle royale first-person shooter style, and so there's a lot of similarities to the games that we've grown accustomed to hearing about when it comes to microtransactions and buying skins. And what we see in Fortnite and Call of Duty and Roblox, those transactions are in the billions of dollars when you add them up. And an in-game currency that runs on blockchain makes a lot of sense. And Illuvium seems to have checked a lot of the boxes that we're looking for. Well, they visually appealing. It looks like a very good game. And let me see if I can't. I'm gonna see if I can't pull some up here. But I was looking at some gameplay even yesterday. I knew we were going to talk about this, and so movie.
You know, we did a video on gaming, and Illuvium was one of them.
Yeah, and I know Gala Games. I know they're pretty big. I know every time we've had Bitbender on, he's talked about Illuvium before, and so I know he's excited about it. But Here, let's see. Trying to find
Some gameplay.
some gameplay videos.
You know, if Illuvium just gets back up to its last all-time high, it's more than a 10x, right? And so, you know, Rob and I talked about this off camera yesterday, but we're discussing, hey, if you're trying to get exposure to gaming, would it be better to get exposure through a singular game like Illuvium token, Star Atlas, off the grid when it comes, maybe even Axie Infinity, or is it better to leverage and get that exposure through a chain like Ethereum, like Avalanche, like Gala? And so, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I don't think you can go wrong with either or, but I think the upside potential more, but obviously it's going to be a lot harder to really pick the winner, is going to be through these individual games. Can we see Illuvium run up to $4,000 or $5,000? Maybe. That would be a 20 to 40x from here. I think my math is good on that one.
Yeah, well, I did find a little gameplay here if you want to take a peek at this. And then, I mean, you can see that the graphics, and if you've been around the blockchain space when it comes to gaming, the graphics and the games have looked absolutely horrendous in the past historically. And this is a fresh perspective. You can see this is something that's very similar. As I mentioned, does have some of that Fortnite kind of characteristic of it. Kind of has that kind of.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that kind of child play. I don't know how to exactly explain the graphics, but definitely kind of a cartoony feel to it, similar to Fortnite. And if you could get just even a fraction of the players that you have on Fortnite playing this, with the amount of revenue that they make on microtransactions and buying skins, yeah, no surprise. I know my bank account's taking a hit every time Christmas comes around. My son wants the V-Bucks.
V-Bucks, Robux.
Yes.
I don't give a...
But it makes sense in the same way we were talking about ticketing, right? In the same way that ticketing makes a lot more sense done on blockchain, right? Hey, you can transfer ownership, you can prove ownership, and you can also tie a currency to it, so you can basically move value as well through smart contracts and transfer of ownership of selling tickets. The same thing is said here when you are buying in-game currency and buying assets. Hey, I can own the asset, I can sell it, resell the asset, I can load up money and take it off in real time, and it has a value that is transferable. And so, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that gaming will go to NFTs as well and on the blockchain. And so, yeah, there you go.
All right, that'll do it for our show today. We want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching. Make sure to watch our Fantom video that drops in about 10 minutes. It'll go to the channel members first, so you get the alpha before anyone else does. And then it'll go public shortly thereafter. Tomorrow, we have Dan from the Chart Guys joining us. Be another good show tomorrow. So, with that being said, Rocco and also Chase. Chase, wave to the camera. What's up, Chase? Chase is our audio engineer helping us out with, you notice, we don't have these mic arms. They're kind of out of the way.
Yeah, we're definitely
we're upgrading.
Trying new stuff out. So,
Yeah.
So try out these mics for a little bit.
Ooh, look at this
How
illusion.
do I sound? Do I sound sexy?
No, not really.
No?
Wow, look at that. 3 mics. By the way, Chase, that was called a finger tornado. It summons Rocco to end it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to come back tomorrow. Same place, same time. On behalf of all of us here at Sin Crypto, we love you guys.
Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I?